Welcome once again to the show. I am your host, Manny. Happy to be with you. Let's just run right into it. It's a packed show. We have a lot of information in on today's episode, so let's get it started. It just first we before we give you the breakdown, we just want to continue to talk about the tragedy that took place in 181st Street in the Bronx. More details are coming out past few days about what transpired there, and it's just a sad state, or just a sad scenario. Period. It just to see some of the videos that I've seen, to see some of the things that people have been talking about. Very sad. Just uh, crazy. I know that the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, was at a vigil last night talking about that she's going to get to the bottom of this. And, well, I hope she does. I hope that she does do something rather than chase ghosts. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know, because she's been chasing ghosts now for years. But with that being said, this is besides the fact that there was lives that were lost because of the fact that there was things that weren't taken care of. This building wasn't properly to code. Fire violations, several violations, and it cost, as you can see, lives. Um, yeah, it was because of a faulty, uh, space heater. And for any of you that have space heaters and warm up their rooms or their living rooms or whatever the case may be with a space heater, because of our heating bills are just ridiculous nowadays. Thank you, Biden administration. You have to be careful. You have to make sure that they're in complete, in working order. Uh, and one of the things that they mentioned also was to make sure that it isn't pointed at any furniture, directly at any furniture. I think one of the causes was that. But regardless of that, we have loss of life, children that lost their lives, and we definitely wanted to continue to talk about it because in our previous episode we mentioned the fact that if you are interested in donating, if you are interested in helping out these families that have been displaced by this fire, it's hard. I don't know if anybody has ever been in that situation, and I mentioned it before. It's not an easy scenario. Again, I helped out my mother through it. She was displaced because of fire. I wasn't personally, but I had to deal with all of that because of the language barrier. My mother doesn't speak the best of English, and I had to help her, along with my other siblings, help her throughout the whole process and making sure that she would be able to get, the help that she needed. So we were able to do that for her, and it's not an easy scenario. But just on top of that, just the amount of death and it's just sad. Um, know people that directly worked with those families that were directly affected by this, and they're beside themselves. My wife was literally crying yesterday because it's just sad. You know, uh, you kind of get to the thing about life's unfair, and these are young lives that didn't even begin their journey, and now it has, it's ended. And she was very upset, and I wish I could have comforted her. I wish I could have done something to comfort her at the moment, but I just couldn't say anything. I couldn't think of anything because, again, it comes to, you start questioning your faith, and that was one of the things that it was like, why, God, why? And you know sometimes you have to go through the motions and just ask, why. It's important in the grieving process for anybody. It is important, whether your family member or somebody that was directly or indirectly affected. You start wondering, and I start asking that question as to why. And it's a natural occurrence. um but again, it goes to show, and I didn't want to point it or say that in, when I was trying to comfort her last night, but it goes back to the bureaucracy, the lack of bureaucracy. It goes back to the fact that you have people that are cutting corners, and by that I mean, the management company, landlord, whomever, cutting corners. They know legislature better than anybody else, and they know how to get around certain things. And this is the cause of that. So, and I don't want to go and make a political thing about it, but in all reality, it is in some way, shape, or form political, because if you have entities that are on top of this stuff, then you don't have these families, this building full of immigrants stuffed into this building. And now you have this 3, 4 alarm fire ravaging through this building, and you have this death, and because of the fact that somebody knows legislature and knows how to get around things, and you know these people are here and they don't really know much, and they're being taken advantage of, and that's bottom line. And again, my opinion, not saying that that's exactly the case, but from what is coming out, the families that have lost or have died were immigrants. They were in this building. It's a 19-story building. Um, they were in this building, and unfortunately, they lost their lives. And we continue to pray for their families. We continue to pray that they do get to the bottom of this. That again, Letitia James does do what she said that she's going to do and get to the bottom of it. And somebody does, pay the piper for this sad state, for this unnecessary loss of life. And like we mentioned before, if you are interested in helping, they are collecting until Friday, January 14th. So if you're interested in helping and you want to donate, we're going to put it up on the screen for our video podcast, so that anybody that's watching can, look at it and go to the information. And we're going to read it also for the podcast listeners here. But the Bronx Fire Relief Drive, collecting donations and relief supplies to assist the families impacted by the 333 East 181st Street. Accepting donations through Friday, January 14th. High priority items are new and unworn clothes, coats, underwear, socks, gift cards, and to restaurants, grocery stores, and food delivery services. Bottled water, new and unused sheets, pillows, beddings, diapers, and baby items, hygiene products, and toiletries, packaged foods. For more info, please contact info@bronxdems.org. Again, that's info@bronxdems.org. Again, this was something in coalition with Bronx Works, a agency that is out, to help people in need in the borough of the Bronx. This was given to me by them. So again, if you want to donate, if you want to help these people that have been impacted, please reach out to info@bronxdems.org. Thank you, Bronx Works. So, we see this thing that these poor families and these people that have been impacted, and I do hope that we raise awareness, and that any listener that is willing to help out, that they do reach out to Bronx Dems and see how you can help. It's just a sad state of affairs, man. It really is. So we want to move on with the show. I don't want to segue and just kind of dismiss the sadness of what ended up happening there. They're still going through it. There's still people that haven't heard from loved ones, and it's I know it's a big shuffle. So and I know that they released the names of the victims so far. And again, there are people that are in the hospital in critical condition. So just want to Again, not that I want to segue and move away from it, but I want to be able to just give you a quick synopsis of what we're going to talk about on the show. On today's episode, it's a doozy. I mean, our credibility in our institutions is slowly dying. And we want to talk about that. Are the institutions that we looked upon to help us through certain things, to guide us through certain things, to help us and just give us the proper things to do when we don't know, when we turn to you, that is slowly dying, eroding, and it's not because we're doing anything. It's because they're doing anything, and they're doing everything, and now things are coming to light. There's these realizations. They're basically admitting it, and what what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to believe all of this stuff? So we'll talk about that. Plus we'll talk about how Governor Hochul, she continues to double down, even though like we said, things are coming to light. And we'll continue our conversation about how New York City is a guinea pig, basically due to our president's visit to Georgia. And we will also continue talking about our DA in Manhattan and how he is going to affect the quality of life or lack thereof. So let's get the show started. Before we get into it, we want to thank our friends over at Instacart. We continuously talk about the fact that they are a great help to myself, for instance, because of the fact that there are times where, listen, I come home because of the schedule that I have, and I have to basically order something from them, and I get it at my door within an hour. So I think it's an awesome tool to have. Don't get me wrong, every once in a while you'll go to the grocery store, but to be able to have someone shop for you, to be able to have someone bring you the items, because we all lead busy time or busy schedules. We all have things that we are running to do, taking care of, kids, school, whatever. It's nice to have Instacart to help you through these things. It's nice to have them there so that you can get your items delivered to your door within an hour. Approximately. Let's. I don't want to put the onus on them, no. But seriously, Instacart, check them out. Instacart.com. They also want to let everybody know that the EBT and SNAP payment offer on selected orders is going to be moved or extended to March 31st. So if you have EBT and SNAP and would like to order your food through Instacart or your groceries through Instacart, you can do so. There are restrictions do apply. You do have the ability to do that, and every order above $35 is, let me just double check. Let me just double check. I'm going to read this again. Instacart is also excited to share the EBT, and I'm sorry because I wanted to make sure I get the correct information out to everyone. EBT SNAP payment offer on select orders has been extended through March 31st. So you pay with EBT on Instacart at select retailers and get the grocery delivery or pickup on all your $35 plus EBT orders. So the delivery is free. That's what I wanted to say. See, I needed to make sure. I needed to look at my notes because I was about to say the wrong thing. But again, I'm sorry. Thank you, Instacart. Again, check them out, instacart.com. Check our show notes. Click on the link or go to our website, the Miranda Project, projct.com, and click on the link there and let Instacart know we sent you. Thank you, Instacart. Now, we want to talk about the fact. No, I think we should start with the DA. I was going to go into the CDC, but let's start with the DA because we're going to lead off of our episode where we spoke about him last on our in our last episode on how the DA of Manhattan is basically saying that he is not going to go after certain criminals, and he is going to let's say, for instance, I'll give you again a quick example. You go in to rob a store with a weapon, then it's no longer a felony to go and do that. Basically, it's a misdemeanor. So we want to talk about it because lo and behold, what happened? Again, it's crazy because do you honestly think that criminals or people that have malice in their heart or want to do harm to other people or whatever the case, you honestly think that they don't read the news, they don't read the newspaper, they don't turn on channel 11, channel 2, 4, 5, whatever? You honestly think that that's the case? No, they do. They are in tune. And this man walked into a Dwayne Reed in Manhattan and basically started robbing the place. I think he was taking cold medicine, dumping it into his bag, according to the article that I was reading, and we'll share that on our website. So apparently he was stealing cold medicine, and the store manager, she went to confront him and tell him to obviously stop. Now, listen, these managers, she's not going to go and physically confront him and tell him, hey, and try to rip this stuff off. She has to try to do something, because she has to answer to her boss, to the GM on her P&L. For those of you who don't know what P&L is, it's profit and loss margin. So she has to answer to the P&L. And if she has more loss than profit, then there has to be a reason for it. There has to be a reason that you can go and tell the GM of the store or ownership or whomever it is that you have to report to and say, well, we're supposed to have 5 Robitussin, and that's what the inventory said, but now somebody came in and stole all the Robitussin. So now you're looking for that Robitussin to go through the register when you do inventory, but it's not there, so I have to answer for it. So I have to let you know that someone came in and they try to rob it, and when they try to rob it, I tried to stop them. But no, this guy, what he did is that he brandished a knife, threatened the manager with the knife, said, let him go, threatened him with the knife. Obviously, she was going to get physical with the guy. I don't knock her for that. There's no need for you to get physical with the guy. Let him go. He left. But you know what ended up happening? He came back because he got away with it one time. Didn't I give you the analogy the last time? Didn't we talk about it in last episode about the cookie jar analogy with the kid? Didn't I give you the fact that if you can get away with one cookie and nobody knows about that one cookie in the cookie jar, what's going to end up happening? What's the human psyche going to say? What are you going to believe? I can get away with it again, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to get not only one cookie, but I'm going to take 2 cookies because mommy's not paying attention. So I got away with it once, and I can get away with it again. Yes. So this is basically what ended up happening. That's the human psyche at work. This is exactly what this guy did. He went back to go and steal more cough medicine. Listen, you might think to yourself real quick, you might not understand the fact that why cough medicine? Why? I don't understand. Why is he stealing cough medicine? One, cough medicine really isn't like, something that's heavily guarded. That's one. 2, I can walk into a deli in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, somewhere in any of the outer boroughs, right? And I can basically walk in with a bag full of Robitussin, Dimetap, whatever, to the store owner and say, listen, I have this Robitussin. I'll sell it to you for $4. I'll sell it to you for $3. I'll sell it to you for $2 each. See, now the store owner, knowing that if he buys it from his supplier or distributor, he's going to have to pay more money. So if I can get it for cheaper and then sell it for regular price or, regular retail in my store, then who's better than me because I'm making more profit, right? Because basically that's what ends up happening. So it's like one hand washes the other. The store owner knows it's hot product. He does. But he doesn't have to worry about ordering it from his distributor. He can go and put it in his behind the counter Because I don't know if you've ever visited a deli in New York. The cough medicine is always behind the counter, behind the guy. He's never going to put it on the floor because he knows that that's basically what's going to happen. Somebody's going to come and steal it. But he has it always behind him. That's the way he controls it. But now he bought it for $1, $1.50, $2. And now he's going to sell it for $6. Who's better than him? Made $4 off of that bottle. That can. Or that box, rather. Excuse me. Rather than having to get it from his supplier, who's probably going to sell it to him for $3. Now he put more money in his pocket. So that's why cough medicine. Yes, they go in and they steal cough medicine. That's why if you ever go to New York and you ever seen, the deodorant is cased in, because that was happening with deodorant. The Similac is cased in because that was happening with the Similac. There's certain items that they have encased in these plastic containers or plastic guards because these were the items that became popular. These were the items that were stolen, and these were the items that were sold elsewhere. Because listen, that's a racket for me. I can make $2 off of 6 bottles of Robitussin that I stole from the Dwayne Reed. That's good enough right there. You know, if I stole 5 and I sell it for 2, who's better than me? I made me a good amount of money, right? So that's basically the mentality, and that's what ends up happening. So, quick reason, that's why, oh yeah, cough medicine. Yes, that's why they steal it. So the guy went back, and again, he brandished the weapon. He was later arrested, and guess what? I'll give you a big guess. He was arrested and charged with weapons possessions, which is a felony. He was, later arraigned, and the charges were dropped, and he got a misdemeanor. He was menacing with a weapon, but no, he just got a misdemeanor. That's it. He walked away scot-free. So now what's going to end up happening? Oh my God, let me give you another guess. See, I got away with 1 cookie. When I went to get the second cookie, I got caught. Mommy saw me, but she was kind of lenient on me. So you know what? I'm going to try again. I'm going to go for number 3, but I'm not going to go to the same place. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to try it a different way because I know that I can get away with it. So that's basically what ends up happening. This is the mentality that they have, that they will continue to have. And again, as we mentioned in the previous episode, I don't know how the DA thinks he's going to change that. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. But I really don't see that happening. I really don't. Again, and we'll continue talking about it. We'll continue to bring it up because even as we spoke about that, this is just a guy brandishing a knife. We also mentioned and we shared on our Facebook page the young lady that was shot working at Burger King. And the sad thing about that is that she was afraid because of the schedule that she was working. And her mother had told the manager of the store to please change her hours. She was about to change her hours, and she tragically lost her life. She was shot for $100 that was in the register because she had just started her shift. That's how they start their shift. They just put $150. If you ever worked in a retail store where there's a register, that's usually how they start their day. They usually put $100 or $150 in the till. That's it. That's how they start their day. The guy walks in trying to get the money. She gives it to him. Like, why hold on to it? Why? He turned around and he shot her and killed her. There's a manhunt for this guy. The reward right now is $20,000. This is the New York that they're building, or they're basically destroying, or I don't know what they're doing. But again, what do I know? I'm just a guy talking on a microphone. I'm just a guy talking into a camera. I don't know. I don't know. But this is the road that we're headed in. This is where we're going. This is where they want to take us. Because again, the DA thinks that he's going to fix it by doing the opposite of fixing it. You don't fix bad behavior by allowing the bad behavior. or rewarding the bad behavior. You fix the bad behavior by punishing the bad behavior. This has been proven time and time again. But I don't know. That's besides me. I don't, I am not a district attorney. I am just a guy talking to you via a microphone, via a camera. I have no idea of what hey, listen, again, like I said, I don't know nothing. I'm just a guy talking into a mic, right? Anyways, so as we talk about, the DA, we also want to be able to talk about the fact that our faith in our institutions has just completely eroded. I'm going to say, me personally, my faith in institutions are completely eroded. And I'm sure that there's others of you that are also in the same way. And you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Well, we've been dealing now with the Omicron variant. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't do my COVID watch, but that's all right. No worries. So we've been dealing with the Omicron variant, and everybody has been, running to go take a test. You got the at-home test. I mean, all of it. We're through it. I mean, it's like, again, like I said before, we're regressing. Everybody's regressing. Everybody's going backwards. Like if we are, in the first variant of COVID, and this is where we are now. Now, with that being said, now there seems to be a change, a shift. You see, and I was listening to Bongino, Dan Bongino, one of my favorite podcasters, and one of the things that he said is just interesting because, and if you disagree, you disagree. But listen, when COVID hit and Trump was the president, every person that died was his responsibility, and everything that he did was wrong. Right? Even when he said that the efficacy of masks is suspect. No. Masks. When he suggested, different therapeutics. No. That doesn't work. Everything he suggested. Even the vaccines. Even the fact that the vaccines were something that were unprecedented. I mean, usually, like he said, and he loves to repeat it over and over and over again, it's the fact that it would have taken them 5 years to produce that. And he's 100% right. That's why he continues to repeat it. He likes to repeat things, and that's our former president. But he's 100% right. But now it changed. Something's changing. Didn't President Biden, say he has no federal help? He can't help anymore when it comes to the virus. But didn't he also tweet out that in his campaign, like we mentioned before, in his campaign, he said that he was going to take care of the virus. He said that he was going to eliminate the virus. He even tweeted about the fact that he was going to eliminate the virus. But yet here we are, and we're dealing with Omicron. But now there's a shift. There's different information because obviously President Biden can't do nothing. More people have died under President Biden than under President Trump, but it's not his responsibility. It's not. Again, whether you like President Trump or you don't, let's be 100% real here. Let's be 100% real. How is it that he gets blamed for everyone that died under his watch, quote unquote, and then this president now doesn't get blamed for everyone that's died under his watch, quote unquote? And because the reason I say it's quote unquote is because, again, they're only sitting in an office. They're not the doctors. They're not the people that are in the CDC or the WHO. They are just basically the person that makes certain decisions about certain things. He's the face. You know how you go to a restaurant and you order a steak and it comes out, I like my steak medium rare, and it doesn't come out medium rare. It comes out, well done. And you go and you look at the waiter and you go, that's not how I ordered it. And you take it out. You take out your frustrations on that person, even though they're just a representative for the people behind the scenes, for the cook, for the grill guy that didn't know what medium rare really is. But you can't go back there to the kitchen and go, you didn't cook my steak right. You can't do that, right? So these guys, both of them, are just representing the bodies behind them. The CDC, WHO is a world entity, but the CDC and other entities and doctors within the United States. They're just representing them. They are just a face. But no. They're not. You have to take it out on the first guy and not on the second guy. Listen, now all of a sudden, like I said, there's a shift. There's a change. It's not his responsibility any longer. It's not the president's responsibility any longer. The people that died are not his call. It's not on his. It's not his fault. Look, I'll give you an example. Dr. Walensky was on Friday's ABC's Good Morning America program, and she touted research showing that COVID vaccines are highly effective in preventing severe illness, and then asked the CDC director, this is the question that was asked to her. I'm sorry. I was just reading part of this article. Given that it is time to start rethinking how we're living with this virus, that it's probably here to stay, Dr. Walensky responded to the question from the person at Good Morning America. The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really, these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news is in the context of Omicron. So these people that we've counted, that we've given all responsibility to the previous president, none of the responsibility to the current president, didn't really die because of, they died due to complications from COVID, but they also had comorbidities. So those comorbidities could have been what ultimately did them in. And I don't mean to put it in that kind of a context because, I lost a dear friend from, due to COVID. I can hear him now. Minister Manny, let him know, Minister Manny. That's my man. I always wonder, like I said, why he always called me Minister Manny. One day, I'll know. One day. But he had heart problems. He had high blood pressure. Comorbidities. This virus attacked his body, and he didn't make it. Now, again, the first strain ravaged through people. It ravaged through society. Now we're dealing with Omicron. And like I said, there's been a huge shift. There's a huge change. Now the messaging is different. Look, this is, again, the CDC. Her CDC website notes, this is Dr. Walensky's website. Her CDC website notes that close to 95% of death certificates listing COVID as a cause also mention other causes along with COVID and states for death. This is her speaking now, her quote, for deaths with conditions or causes in addition to COVID-19, on average, there were 4.0 additional conditions or causes per death. Again, just that last part. And I'm going to reread her quote. For deaths with conditions or causes in addition to COVID-19, on average, there were 4.0 additional conditions or causes per death. So basically, what she's saying is that out of the 75% of people that passed away from COVID, as sad as that whole thing is, we're not celebrating their deaths. We're not touting anybody's death. It was just horrible to see and experience and watch how the world was dealing with this pandemic, how the family members were losing family members, and how our weakest among us were the ones that suffered the most, i.e., Governor Cuomo and his mandate to send people into nursing homes. But hey, he got away with scot-free. It's okay. We're not going to talk about that because, he got away with it. It's all right. He didn't have to pay the piper for or be responsible for the fact that he sent positive COVID patients into our weakest, and they were ravaged by it. I mean, who else has more comorbidities than our elderly, right? But anyways, so 75% of the people that have passed away from COVID, those 75% of they had 4.0, and it says 4.0, but four other comorbidities. Just put it that way. They had four other comorbidities. And on average, I mentioned my dear friend, and I know that he had heart condition. I know he had high blood pressure. He told me that much. And, he's no longer with us, but he had those comorbidities. There are people that had comorbidities and have passed away, but they didn't mention that before. Now, all of a sudden, it's coming to light. Now, all of a sudden, they're beginning to say this. Now, out of the blue, this is beginning to happen. Now, you know what the crazy part of it all is? That now they're basically telling people, hey, you know what? Out of all of the hospitalizations that we keep talking about, that we keep, speaking about in the news, that, the hospitals are overrun, that there's so many people with COVID, all of this information that they keep bombarding and telling you and telling you and telling you, and COVID and COVID and COVID and COVID, and they keep, just pushing it into your head, and it's like the brainwashing of COVID. And again, my opinion, because again, it's something that we do need to worry about, just like any other illness, any other virus that we're dealing with in our lifetime. We all need to be worried about. We all need to take care of ourselves. We all need to know that if we have a comorbidity, we need to either address it, go to a doctor, and make sure that we do address it in whatever which way form that we can. I had comorbidities. I addressed them for other reasons, not because of COVID, but I did. My head is like, it just doesn't want to work with me today. But listen, now what they're telling you is that all the people, and there's an article in New York Post, and we're going to share it on our website as well. All the numbers that they keep telling you, and hospitals are being overrun, and there's people going to the hospital. Absolutely. I'm not saying that there's no people going to the hospital. I'm not saying none of that. I'm not, taken away from that. I'm not saying that there aren't hospitalizations. Please understand that. This is not what I'm trying to do here. But what I'm trying to tell you is the fact that in this article, and per her own words, Dr. Walensky, the CDC, the director of the CDC, this is her own words. What's going on now is the fact that people are going to the hospital. Let's say, for instance, I fell and hit my head. Now I cut my head open. I'm bleeding. I got a split open. I need stitches. I go to the doctor. I go to the ER. The first thing they do is they run a COVID test. Mind you, I might be split open, but they're going to run a COVID test. Now, what ends up happening? I come up positive. I came up positive for COVID, but I didn't go in because I had any symptoms or I felt anything. I went in because I split my head open. And I'm like, have you ever split your head open? The amount of blood? I went in because I split my head open. They did a COVID test. Now I am a COVID patient. Mind you, I'm just getting stitches and now I can leave. Right? No. He's got COVID. He's got COVID. He's a COVID patient. He's being treated for COVID. This is what's going on. And I know that there's money behind it. And listen, there's money behind it. And I know at the beginning of COVID, there was a lot of money behind it. The government was handing hospitals money hand over fist. And I was reading a report where it basically said, hey, listen, a lot of hospitals were, suffering. A lot of hospitals were basically going to possibly go bankrupt. So now you're basically reporting and saying, oh yeah, COVID. It was COVID. No. He split his heart open. No, it was COVID. It was COVID. Because he got COVID because, when he hit the ground, I'm repeating myself here. When he hit the ground, he had split his head open and the ground had COVID. And now what's it called? But again, I just, and I'm sorry I don't mean to joke about it like that. It's no laughing matter because it's still something that we need to be wary about. Again, if we do have comorbidities, if we do have things that we have to worry about ourselves and our health and all of that, this is something that we need to pay attention to. Absolutely. We need to be on top of. We just need to be on top of our health, period. Not just because of COVID, just because we need to be on top of our health. Bottom line. But like I said, we joke around, a group of friends of mine, we joke around because, again, you can get shot in the street. The DA of New York won't prosecute the shooter, but you're in the hospital and the bullet had COVID because you are a COVID patient now. And we joke around about it. It's a joke. Nobody wants to be shot. Nobody wants to be in no hospital. Nobody wants to be in no ER. It's a sad state of affairs that they are basically going through the extent and they're doing all of this. And, is money involved? Again, who knows? But I remember the video, or not that I remember, the video that we've played before where the newscaster basically says, I'm tired of talking about COVID. I'm tired. It's COVID. I'm tired. I'm tired about talking about it. I'm tired of reporting about it. It's just too confusing and it's become political. And this is what this is. It's become political. The CDC has no longer become a health agency. No. They are no longer a health agency. They aren't. The CDC is not a health agency any longer. They are a political agency. That's what they are. That's why their credibility is done. People don't pay attention to the CDC anymore. Listen. Look at the crazy transition with the same disease or same virus. But now you're changing your opinion. You're changing what you said. You're changing people's credibility in the CDC is changing. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care if you are blood red or I don't care if you're ice cold blue. I don't care. You just don't like being lied to. You don't. You don't like being lied to when it comes to your health, to what you need to worry about, yourself and your family. You don't like being lied to. People might still hang on to the masks, and the people on the other side might be like, yeah, we were right. But people just don't like being lied to. And again, let me not talk about masks because I can go into masks and, we've already spent a good amount of time here. But, because there are certain reports about the efficacy of masks and our lovely CDC did put up a report about the efficacy of masks and that was debunked. And, somewhere down the line, we're going to hear that the efficacy of masks is different, that they made a mistake, that or they're shifting their gears and they're going to tell you this, that, and the third, and it's going to be completely different than what we see now, what we're being told now. It's going to happen somewhere down the line. We're going to see a change. We're going to see a shift. We're going to have something completely different from the CDC, from our governmental agencies, all of that. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Our kids are still in masks. And that's another thing. And I spoken about it in a previous episode about the fact that, our kids are in masks. I think I spoke about it in Please Stop, our episode named Please Stop. And then somebody on Facebook called me an anti-vaxxer and they called me anti-science. Even though I quoted a doctor from from Josh Hopkins. So, but, I'm anti-science. But anyways, that's besides the point. Now, with all that being said, why is Governor Hochul doubling down? Before we talk about that, I just want to give a special thanks to our friends over at M68 Custom Prints. As you can see, this is one of their what's it called? Labors of love, if you want to call it that. No, but this is one of their sweaters, a hoodie from TMP. This is one of maybe our upcoming product line here at the project. So they do awesome work. I definitely want to thank the guys over at M68 Custom Prints. Like I said before, I've said it before, nothing better than having someone to talk to, someone to deal with your needs, what you want exactly on a shirt or on a sweater, or, and rather than just going to a website and just sticking in some picture and then just getting something spit back out, just that personal touch, that personal feel, that mom and pop kind of scenario. We don't get that anymore. Everything is so automated right now. Everything is, like I said, you go to a website, you stick something into the website, you put a picture up, and then all of a sudden 2-3 weeks down the road, you get something spit back at you. And that's the complete opposite of M68 Custom Prints. Once again, we thank them for partnering up with us. Again, you can go to our website, themirandaproject.com, projct.com, and check out some more of their works. But as you can see, I'm wearing one of their works now. Thank you again, M68 Custom Prints. So, Governor Hochul is doubling down, even though the CDC basically just said, hey, and they cited a report in New York, which we will put up on our website. They cited a report from New York stating that 40% of the people that are going into hospitals don't have COVID. They are being diagnosed with COVID. They're going in for whatever. I said, you split your head open, boom, you get a test. All of a sudden you come up positive for COVID, and now you have COVID. Now you're a COVID patient. So, but in that same regard, Governor Hochul is doubling down. And what do you mean she's doubling down? Well, she is doubling down in the fact that she's mandating healthcare workers to get the booster shot. She already mandated them to get the 2 shots. A lot of people quit because of that, because they didn't want to get that booster shot. What happened to My Body, My Choice? That got thrown out the window because that didn't fit what Governor Hochul wanted. She wanted, again, like I said in our episode, I'm going to hold your hand. She wants to hold your hand through it. She knows what's best for you, not the other way around. You don't know what's good for you. You don't. You don't. Governor Hochul knows what's best for you. She does. So she is basically doubling down and telling hospital workers that they have to get the vaccine now. Otherwise, not the vaccine, the booster, to be able to go back to work. And obviously we are already stretched thin. We are already losing hospital workers. We don't have hospital workers that, because they basically did not want to get the first 2 shots. And now you're telling them that they have to get the booster shot. And this is where we are. I don't get it. I don't understand. They don't want to let go of that emergency power. Like I said, they don't want to let go of that control. So they're going to create this scenario. They're going to continue to push. And now they're going to tell the hospital workers that they have to go and get the booster. But yet people are still getting Omicron. Even the press secretary, Jen Psaki, triple vaxxed, got Omicron. She got COVID. So now you have to go, because she said that she knows what's best for you. She knows what's best for these people. So she is going to go and tell them. She's doubling down, even though the CDC said that what they're saying, that the hospitalization is not because of COVID, it's because of other things, but they get diagnosed with COVID. But she says that she's going to protect people. Oh, and on top of that, knowing this is no information that she knows. Even the CEO of Pfizer, which is one of the companies, the biggest manufacturer of the vaccine, basically said that the vaccine is a personal mitigator of COVID, that it's not meant to stop the spread. It's meant for you, your personal mitigation of the virus. So if I take the vaccine, I take the 2 shots, I'm personally mitigating the virus for myself, but I am not stopping it from I'm not stopping it from, or I'm not stopping myself from spreading it to my wife or to someone else. That's not the point of the vaccine. That's not how it was made. Now, all of a sudden, even with that, no, we're doubling down. No, I know best. I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And you're going to have to go and get the 3rd booster shot. This is where we are, because they don't want to let go of that power. They don't want to let go of that emergency power. As a matter of fact, hey, listen, Governor Murphy in New Jersey, he just reinstated his emergency power. They don't want to let go of it because they're going to continue to pump that fear. They're going to continue to tell you, oh, Omicron, oh, this, or oh, that, or oh, this other thing. And listen, man, if you want to go get the vax, go and get it. If you don't want to go and get it, don't go and get it. But just remember and just realize and do the research and do the things that you need to do to be able or to be educated so that you know what it is about the vaccine that is going to be beneficial for you. That's it, bottom line. Hochul is going to double down. And the crazy thing about it, I think it was a joke on TikTok that I saw. A nurse decides not to get the vaccine. She quits or is let go because of it. Now the hospital is forced to hire someone else, a traveling nurse, at double the rate. And it's crazy because it was the nurse who said, oh, playing the 2 roles. The doctor tells her, the administration tells her, you have to get the vaccine. She said, no, I don't want to get the vaccine. Administrator saying, you have to get the vaccine. And I don't want to get the vaccine. And then all of a sudden it goes back and forth. And then she says, no, I'm not going to get it. I leave. I quit. And then before you know it, she goes and she gets dressed up in something else. And she says, no, I'm a traveling nurse. Oh, okay. Can you start? Yeah, absolutely. At $150 an hour. Oh, yeah, that's reasonable. We could do that. Yeah, that's where we are. This is where we are, because Governor Hochul is going to continue to hold on to that emergency power. Governor Murphy is going to continue to hold on to that emergency power. These governors are going to continue to hold on to this emergency power. The government is going to continue to hold on to this emergency power as much as they can, even though the public is beginning to wake up and realize that they are the ones that can mitigate for themselves, like we were supposed to be known or told so many months ago. As a matter of fact, we were told, but then they were told that they were conspiracy theories and the previous president didn't know anything and he's responsible for all the deaths. Yeah, this is where we are. Yeah. Wake up, people. Let's wake up. Let's go back to our first episode of the Miranda Project. Wake up. Wake up. I feel like we're in some kind of Hansel and Gretel type of thing where she continues to put out the candy and continue to put out the candy for you, and you're going to follow it right into the oven and get baked and eaten. Wake up, people. I'm done. Because we just continue to regress. That's where we are. We continue to regress. But anyways, thank you once again for joining us on the project. Check us out on our Facebook page. And not even talk about Facebook. I got a little bit of beef with Facebook right now. Check us out on our Facebook page, on Instagram, on Twitter. We joined Getter, and we have also joined Parler. So check us out there. We will be posting some stuff on there as well. Check us out on our website, the Miranda Project, projct.com. And as we like to say here on the project, if you're not into politics, just remember, politics is in to you.